The first voice message came at 2:13 in the morning. I remember the exact time because I was awake. I had been lying in bed for almost an hour, staring at the ceiling. My phone was on the table beside me. Then it vibrated. One new voice message. The sender was, me. Not my name. Not a saved contact. My own phone number. For a few seconds, I just stared at the screen. I thought it was some kind of glitch. Maybe a bug. Maybe someone had somehow copied my number. Then I pressed play. At first, there was only static. And then I heard my own voice. Very quietly. Don't go outside tonight. I sat up in bed. The message was only 7 seconds long. I played it again. The voice was mine. The same tone. The same slight crack in my voice when I was tired. But I had never recorded it. I checked my phone. No recording app was open. No call history. No notification from any other device. I deleted the message. Then I turned off my phone. And went to sleep. At least. I tried to. The next morning, I almost forgot about it. Almost. I told myself it was a glitch. Some strange audio file. Maybe an old recording that somehow appeared again. I went to work. I spent the entire day trying not to think about it. But at exactly 2:13 the next morning, my phone vibrated again. This time, I didn't touch it. I just stared at the screen. Another voice message. From my own number. I waited almost 5 minutes before pressing play. This time, there was no static. Just my voice. Don't open the door. I froze. Because at that exact moment, someone knocked on my apartment door. 3 times. Knock. 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 I didn't move. The knocking stopped. I stood there in the darkness, staring at the door. Then I checked the peephole. The hallway was empty. I waited. 5 minutes. 10. Nothing. Finally, I opened the door. There was no one outside. But on the floor, there was a small black phone. I had never seen it before. I picked it up. The screen was completely black. No power. No buttons worked. I left it outside and shut the door. The next morning, it was gone. I started sleeping with the lights on. I know how stupid that sounds. I was 26 years old. I lived alone. And I knew ghosts weren't real. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. 3 nights later, another message arrived. 2:13 a.m. This time, I didn't want to play it. But I did. My voice said, "Look behind you." I stopped breathing. I was sitting on my bed. The room was completely dark. I slowly turned around. Nothing. Just my wardrobe. I laughed. A nervous, stupid laugh. Then I noticed something. The message had a timestamp. 2:13 a.m. But the audio file itself had been recorded at 2:17 a.m. For minutes in the future. I checked it 3 times. The file was recorded at 2:17. But I had received it at 2:13. I stared at the screen. Then I heard something. A sound from the recording. Very faint. A door creaking. I looked toward my bedroom door. It was closed. I replayed the message. And this time, I heard breathing. Not my breathing. Someone else's. I called my friend, Rohan. I told him everything. He laughed at first. Then I sent him the recordings. He stopped laughing. "Bro, this is your voice." "I know. Did you make these?" "No. Maybe someone is using AI to copy your voice. Then how did they know what was happening in my room? There was silence. Then Rohan said, "Come stay at my place tonight." I agreed. I packed a bag. Before leaving, I checked my phone one last time. There was a new voice message. 2:13 a.m. But it was still 6:40 in the evening. I pressed play. My voice whispered, "Don't go to Rohan's house." I immediately called him. He didn't answer. I called again. Nothing. I sent him a message. No reply. Then I noticed something strange. His last online status showed 2:13 a.m. the previous night. I left my apartment anyway. I didn't know where else to go. Rohan lived about 30 minutes away. I arrived at his apartment around 7:30 p.m. The door was unlocked. I knocked. No answer. I called his name. Still nothing. I walked inside. His living room was empty. His phone was lying on the table. I called it. It started ringing. From inside the apartment. I followed the sound. The ringing was coming from the bedroom. I opened the door. The room was empty. But on the bed was a black phone. The same kind I had found outside my apartment. I picked it up. This one turned on. The screen showed a single video file. The name was Play Me. I didn't press it. I couldn't. Then my phone vibrated. A new voice message. From my own number. I pressed play. My voice said, "You're in the wrong room." I slowly looked around. There was only one room. One bed. One wardrobe. One window. Then I heard a sound behind the wardrobe. A soft knock. 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 I stepped back. The wardrobe moved slightly. I ran. I drove back home. I didn't call the police. I didn't call anyone. Because I knew how the story would sound. I had no proof. No explanation. Just voice messages. And a phone that shouldn't exist. When I got home, I locked the door. I checked every room. The apartment was empty. I sat on my bed. My phone vibrated. Another message. I didn't want to listen. But I did. This time, my voice was crying. "Don't watch the video." I looked at the black phone. It was sitting on my desk. I hadn't brought it home. I was sure of that. I picked it up. The video file was still there. Play Me. I pressed it. The screen showed my bedroom. The exact room I was sitting in. The camera angle was from the corner near the ceiling. I could see myself sitting on the bed. The video was recorded earlier. But then I noticed something. The person in the video was not sitting still. He was looking directly at the camera. I looked up. There was nothing on the ceiling. I looked back at the phone. The video continued. The version of me on the screen slowly stood up. Then he walked toward the camera. And whispered. "Too early." The video ended. My phone started ringing. Unknown number. I didn't answer. It rang again. And again. Finally, I picked up. For several seconds, there was silence. Then I heard my own voice. Not a recording. A live voice. "Why did you come back?" I couldn't speak. The voice continued. "You weren't supposed to hear the messages yet. Who are you?" A long silence. Then. "I'm you." I hung up. The phone rang immediately. I turned it off. The screen stayed on. A new voice message appeared. I watched it appear in real time. The sender was my own number. I pressed play. My voice whispered, "Look at the window." I turned toward the window. There was someone standing outside. On the other side of the glass. I screamed. The figure was standing on the 5th floor. Impossible. I ran toward the window. The figure disappeared. I looked down. Nothing. Then my phone vibrated again. Another message. This time, I didn't play it. I already knew what it would say. I decided to destroy the phone. I took it outside. I smashed it against the pavement. The screen cracked. The phone broke into pieces. For the first time in days. There was silence. I went back inside. I slept. When I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight filled the room. My normal phone was on the table. I picked it up. There were no messages. No strange recordings. Nothing. I thought it was over. Then I opened my gallery. There was a new video. Recorded at 2:13 a.m. I pressed play. The camera showed me sleeping. The video lasted 30 seconds. Then the bedroom door slowly opened. Someone walked inside. I couldn't see their face. They stood beside my bed. And looked at me. Then they leaned down. And whispered, "Wake up." I immediately looked toward my bedroom door. It was open. I knew I had locked it. Then I noticed something else. The video wasn't recorded last night. The date was tomorrow. I stopped using my phone. I bought a new one. I changed my number. I moved to another apartment. I told myself it was over. For 3 weeks. Nothing happened. Then, one night, at exactly 2:13 a.m. my new phone vibrated. I stared at the screen. One new voice message. The sender was unknown. I didn't want to play it. But I already knew the voice. It was mine. I pressed play. For several seconds, there was only breathing. Then my voice said, "Don't be afraid." I closed my eyes. The voice continued. "You keep thinking the messages are warning you." A pause. "They aren't." I opened my eyes. The room was dark. The voice whispered, "They're instructions." I dropped the phone. And then I heard a knock. From inside my apartment. Knock. 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 I didn't move. I sat on the bed. The knocking came again. This time, from the wardrobe. Knock. 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 My phone vibrated. One final message. 2:13 a.m. I pressed play. My voice whispered, "Don't open it." I stared at the wardrobe. The handle began to move. Slowly. The door opened a few inches. Darkness filled the gap. I could hear breathing. Then I heard my own voice. Not from the phone. From inside the wardrobe. "Why did you stop listening?" The door opened completely. There was no one inside. Only a mirror. I looked at my reflection. It was standing still. I was breathing heavily. The reflection smiled. I didn't. Then it raised one finger to its lips. And whispered, "Shoo." My phone vibrated one last time. I looked down. A new voice message. From my own number. The timestamp said 2:13 a.m. I pressed play. And heard my own voice say, "Don't go outside tonight." The exact same message. The one that started everything. But this time, I finally understood. The messages were never coming from the future. They were coming from the beginning. And the reason they always knew what I was going to do was because I had already done it. Somewhere. Some other time. Or maybe I was the message. I don't use that phone anymore. I don't record my voice. I don't sleep with my phone beside me. But every night, at exactly 2:13 a.m., my new phone lights up. No notification. No caller ID. Just one audio file. Waiting to be played. And the file name is always the same. You are listening too early. And sometimes, when the room is completely silent, I can hear something coming from my phone. A voice. My voice. Whispering. Don't worry. Tomorrow. You'll understand.